Hello, beauties. I just want to share with you before we dive into today's episode. I've got a really cool promotion running during the month of September for my light retreat in November. This is November 10th to the 13th. This retreat is held at the stunning Stonehill Estate in the beautiful Tweed Valley. We get 4 days away together in paradise. This is all about letting go of your year and reclaiming you, reclaiming your joy, reclaiming what lights you up. And I guarantee you, you are going to leave those 4 days feeling full, feeling nourished, feeling like an entirely different you. So if you book in one of the few final spots during the month of September, I'm going to gift you the following bonuses. The first is 3 months free access to my Light Path Collective membership. This is my signature membership program where you get fortnightly calls. You also get access to a community portal of recordings and meditations and subliminals. And I have monthly light circles in that as well that you get free access to. And then secondly, you get a free one-to-one intuitive soul mentoring session with me. This is a 30-minute call dedicated to you and your expansion in every sense of the word. So both of these two things together are valued at over $370. You get it for free if you take one of these final spots for my retreat in November. It's so exciting. All of the details are in the show notes. Okay, on to the episode. Welcome to the Light Up Podcast. I am your host, Amy Wilkinson. I'm an intuitive guide and soul mentor. And through this podcast, you will receive conscious conversations, powerful downloads, and soul-stirring activations that will both support and inspire you to tap into your intuition, follow that higher calling, and live a life aligned with your soul. Because you are here to co-create a life rich in abundance, freedom, and deep joy, and to unleash who you truly came here to be. And we're here to help you discover how to access that. So let's dive on in and light up. Hello, beautiful. Welcome back to Light Up Podcast. I am both excited and curious about this episode. Curiosity is one of the words that I have fallen in love with, and I feel like it's one of those words that can beautifully articulate a quality that you would want to hold when you are on this spiritual path. We're not attached. We're holding space for our desires to come to pass, but we are observing life from a place of interest and curiosity and wonder. You know, when we approach our life from curiosity, we know and we trust that life is happening for us, that we are on our highest timeline. And this is what I teach. This is what I love. This is what I know to be true. And if you know me and you've been in my world for a while, and I'm going to get to, by the way, what this title for this podcast is all about, because no doubt it's brought you into this episode and you're wondering what is going on. So I'm going to share it. If you've been in my world for a while, though, you would know that I operate from a place of deep connection with God or the divine or spirit or universal consciousness, whatever you want to call it. It is that one unity consciousness that connects us all, that creates all it is, that is a part of who we are. And I have, over the years, developed a deeper, richer relationship, friendship, collaborative relationship with that divine force, whatever you want to call it. So recently, I've been in this practice, and you might resonate with this. I feel like the month of August was a bit of a challenging one for many people. And I'm just even going to say that we are moving through challenging times where we are being asked to open our eyes, where we are being asked to look what's deeper underneath our skin, not just what's on the surface of what we're experiencing life, but where is that coming from, and how did I play a role in creating that? So it's this beautiful self-responsibility where we understand our role in our life, our role in being the conscious co-creator or unconscious co-creator. As you know, we can move through times when we are not aware of the way in which we are creating our world, but we are doing it nonetheless. So anyway, I digress. The other day, I have been tuning into some guidance more recently, but it really dropped in the other day, and I feel and felt very strongly called to break up from a few things. Now, this breaking up process has been a little bit continuous this year. I felt gradually over time, when you're receiving guidance, you start to get these little whispers. You might start to overhear conversations with other people that have moved through something that you're feeling called to move through. It's showing up in your field in different ways. So the first thing was a little breakup from alcohol, which I've been doing now for solidly for a couple of months. I'll be coming up to 2.5 months or something like that, which feels really great. I was never a big drinker, but I wanted to break up with alcohol so that I could meet myself in a really clear, neutral place. And I didn't want any of my judgment, my channel to be clouded by the effects of alcohol. Like, let's be honest, having a drink or two can feel really fun, and I do enjoy that from time to time, and I'm not saying that I won't go back to enjoying that. However, it was the after effect and how that felt like it was depleting my energy and blurring my connection that I just wasn't available for anymore. And I wanted to experience the richness of life without that distortion, let's say. So that was one of the things. More recently, I've been called to break up from social media, and it feels like it's another one of those habits. Now, as an entrepreneur, as running my own business, there's always been a level of dependency on social media to connect with people and attract an audience and clients and so forth. And again, I don't know how long this is going to be for that I'm breaking up with social media, but the guidance has come through strong. And if it's one thing I know about guidance is that it is there for us. It is there to support us. It is there to bring us into alignment with the bigger picture that's playing out and that wants to come through us. So I could see that reliance or that level of dependency wasn't really serving me. Don't get me wrong, I love sharing. I love sharing content. I love sharing information. I love being that clear channel, which is why I created a podcast as well. It brings me a lot of joy. It was more of that dependency or more of that distraction of social media and a little bit of the energy of it that I wasn't loving lately. Anyway, when the guidance comes through, it's important that we heed the whispers and we start to put things in place to follow that guidance. So that was the second thing that came through, was a little break from social media. I am taking it off for the month of September, which feels both freeing and also terrifying. So let's see how we go with that. And, I'm sure you resonate if you've got a business, if you're doing your own thing where you are in a place of needing to continue to grow your audience. And don't get me wrong, social media is a great way to do that. And I am super, super grateful for it. Again, I don't know the full picture here, but I'm following the guidance with that. Now, the next thing that I am breaking up with is my Light Up podcast. Now, as it currently is in its current form, I have loved this year. I started in February. I can't believe we're in September already. I have adored being on this podcast. I've adored sharing these episodes. I've adored bringing people into the Light Up community. It's been quite amazing how much I've loved this medium and this channel. And friends, it is going to continue on. It's just going to be a different iteration. And I see this as really positive. Again, I don't know when. I don't think it's going to be too far down the track. I'm taking a little pause while I focus on this new iteration, this kind of podcast 2.0, and it's going to come with a new name and a lot more clarity, which I've received by being in the podcast, by doing the podcast, a lot more clarity around the message and around the people that I want to serve. And I'm really grateful that I've had the opportunity to dive into what are the things that are lighting me up that I really want to share, and to make that more crystallized so that my community and my people know how to not only connect with me, but they can feel that the channel is really clear with what wants to come through in this particular area. So that's all I'm going to say for now on that. It's not going to be a long break. My sense isn't that it's going to be a long break, but if you are following along, I would love it if you would follow the podcast so that you will get notified. Because if you're on social media, I probably won't be putting it out there in this next little while, so that you can be notified, or join my email list, because that is something that I am going to be pouring my energy into, is staying connected with my light community via my email list. And there's some beautiful freebies on my website, meditation and so forth, that you can receive if you want to jump on to that list and be part of that community. I'm going to be putting my energy into my beautiful Light Path Collective community because I adore it, and we meet every fortnight. And I've mentioned this before, but we dive deeper into these teachings. That's going to have some changes as well coming through, but it is a really great time to join now and receive those 2 weeks for free if you want to come and be a part of that beautiful community that really uplifts. We really uplift each other, and I bring through channeled teachings every fortnight as well. I connect in with source, I connect in with my guides, and I bring through what feels most relevant and alive and needed for those that are in the community, and I have really amazing results with that, and forward momentum and accomplishments. It's really beautiful. So I will put all of those details in the show notes if you want to stay in contact. And really, the message that I want to bring through in this podcast episode, because I always want there to be something that you can take away. I think that quite often we feel like we need to have all of the information and figure it all out before we make a decision. Okay, but this is part of the leap aspect. This is part of taking steps and taking inspired action without knowing, because we never really know what's on the other side of it. This is where we get so good at developing our trust muscle, harnessing our relationship with the spirit, with the divine, with that broader consciousness. Recently I've just picked up the Neale Donald Walsch book, Friendship with God. And this book I think I probably bought it in my 20s. It's a continuation from the Conversation of God book. So it's called Friendship with God. And I picked up my copy off the bookshelf. It jumped out to me. I mean, this is a way that Spirit delivers messages through to me, is via a book or via something that I will hear. So it's that real clairaudient and that visual, clairvoyant way where you literally see the signs and synchronicities. So this might be relevant to you if you just get drawn to a book, or you're in a bookstore and a book pops out and there's a message there in that passage for you. So I've been reading this book about developing and cultivating your friendship with God, and it requires, like any other close companionship or friendship, it requires a really deep level of trust, of letting that other person take care of you, of being receptive to what that other person has for you in those really wholesome relationships where you support each other. So I want to encourage you, if you're on this path, and a reminder as well that you are not alone, you are not walking this path alone, and that you have access via faith to support and to guidance that wants to come through you. And I'm not special. We all have access to this. It's just so underutilized that it becomes then underdeveloped in many of us. And we have to remember, we literally have to remember that this guidance is actually who we are. When we are tapped in and connected to that divine force, it is because we are a part of that. It is a part of us. We are a part of that one consciousness. So it gets to be a lot simpler than what we might make it out to be in our mind, because our mind loves to overcomplicate things, right? So having some kind of a ritual or a prayer practice where you ask yourself to be shown and to be led, right? It's said that, in prayer we ask, right? And in meditation we receive. And if you're not a big meditator, that's okay. Can you take yourself out in nature? Can you dull out the background noise that is often bombarding us continuously, whether it's the email tabs, emails that buzz through, or our phone, or music, or news, or whatever it is, current affairs, all of this, we get bombarded. Our senses do get overused and bombarded, but the most important senses of all, where we actually feel, where we sense with our intuitive faculties what is there and what wants to come through, are the ones that we're not so tapped into, particularly in this modern day. So if we can soften the exterior noise and turn up the volume of our interior compass and what wants to come through from spirit, from source, from God, and allow ourselves to be led by that. And you don't have to use the word God if that is triggering, because I know for many we can have that religious wound, or maybe it's just something that you have really tried to push away because of that and because of some of the connotations around it. Drop it if you will. It actually really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. What matters is this knowing that you are not here by yourself. What matters is this knowing that there is an intelligence far greater than your mind. We put so much emphasis on our mind in this three-dimensional world, but really, it is not here to guide us. It is not here to lead us. It does not have the capacity to do that. Okay? So what does have the capacity to do that is this source, is the universe, is this divine consciousness. So can you hand over the wheel? And that means maybe there are things that you are feeling guided to take a break from. And that's okay, to break up with for a period of time. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it is a work situation or a job. Maybe it is a substance that you've been having, foods or alcohol or a pattern. We also get very addicted to the stress and the drama, the emotional addiction. Is it time to break up with that? Because nothing changes if nothing changes, and it's up to you. You are the one who makes the decision. Spirit can lead you and guide you, plant the seeds and the ideas, but it needs to be up to you to actually take the inspired action. What does that require? It requires courage, my friends. It really does. And if it scares you, it's just showing you that there's something there on the other side, because our nervous system and our mind doesn't like going into the unknown. But how can you reestablish? What would it look like for you to reestablish safety in the unknown? For you to lean into something beyond your analytical mind? Our analytical mind is not safe. It really isn't. It tells us lies all the time, all day long. And the only problem is when we actually believe it and we actually think that it's true. So instead, what's something that you could open up to today that you've been feeling and you know it? A little whisper, a little nudge, maybe a little sign, maybe it's a conversation that keeps coming up and it's circling around. It is for you. It is for you, and it is because there is something bigger that wants to come through you. But in order for that to come through you, you have to be willing to make the space. You have to be willing to say no and to break up from things in your life that are draining you, that are not serving you, so that you can open up this beautiful space for the new to come through that wants to lead you to paradise, that wants to lead you into abundance, that wants to lead you into all that lights your soul up, because it is available for you. Okay? So that is it for now. I am signing off on this last episode of Light Up, which is both exciting and scary all at once. I will be back, and I will be back for season 2, and it is going to look and feel different. And if you have enjoyed this episode or any of the other episodes, I would love it. I would so appreciate it if you could pop up a review, or if you could share it with somebody else that you know. Or let me know how you found it. Send me an email is the best way, amy@thelightplace.com.au. And I hope to connect with you really soon, if not here via the podcast and in my community. Light Path Collective is the best way at the moment, unless you are wanting to work with me one-on-one, and I will pop all that information in the show notes. Okay, I'm signing off now. Thank you so much for your presence, your energy, your ears, and your hearts, and I will see you again really soon.